What up, FIFA Tiers, and welcome to the FUT Tiers podcast. Today, I am joined by Brad, but there is no Luke. We are joined by a guest instead. Welcome on, ElSeeBee101, or we'll call him LCB. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you for having us on, lads. Appreciate it.
Yeah, pleasure, man.
That's fine. How are you doing, Brad?
Yeah, I'm good. Good. Yep. Just finished night shifts, so a little bit on the tired eyes for those on YouTube. But for those on the podcast, my voice won't be affected, so that's fine.
So let me just get this correct. So you're on Twitter for your social media, and then you do Twitch and TikTok content. Is that correct?
Yes, mate. Yeah, spot on. All the socials are on there, but yeah, primarily TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter.
No problem. I'll put all your links down in the description, so any listeners that want to check you out are more than free to do so and click on those links to discover you and drop you a follow or two.
Yeah.
As I do believe in supporting small content creators and stuff, because I think with small content creators, I think they enjoy like the help that other creators give a lot more than maybe bigger content creators do sometimes.
Oh, massively. Like I think that's like where this came from, like initially, isn't it? We all banded together and you know, look at us now. We're a year into a podcast. We've been doing this for a while. It's definitely the way forward, I think.
Yeah, I've met some of the best people I've met on since I started doing this. It's like, I think FIFA as a game, we've got such a, it has a negative connotation around the community, but the creator community that's behind that is, it's unreal.
Do you only do FIFA content, or do you do other forms?
So, well, in terms of creating content and posting it
basically, or streaming or whatever.
Times to time,
other games, basically.
Yeah, times to time I drop into Warzone. But in terms of like primarily, yeah, I'm a FIFA content creator, football content creator, dabbling in a bit of comedy, but I'm not that funny, so.
I think we all would like to feel we are funny, you know. We all find ourselves funny. It's whether other people find us funny. That is the trick to it all.
Exactly.
Better to be laughed with than laughed at, I think.
Yes. Well, GH is probably the biggest prime example from our viewer base. Right? He thinks he's funny, or what he does is funny, but actually people are laughing at him, not with him.
I can't believe he's got a mention already this early in the podcast. If I'm honest.
He'll get mentioned a few times. You'll find that out, Al. That's for sure. But let's get into our first topic of the podcast. So we are coming towards the back end of Team of the Season. So this is the final week. And the final week, as always, is Ultimate Team of the Season. So they got the 23-man squad, which is picking some of the best cards from all the different other Team of the Seasons. Yeah. So it's primarily, well, in fact, I was going to say primarily all the top 5 leagues, but it is exclusively the top 5 leagues. There's not a single non-top 5 league player in there, even though you got likes of Gravenberch, Nunez and stuff that do have very good looking cards in Team of the Season. But it is, I mean, I could go through some of the names. Some people have actually been snubbed for Ultimate Team of the Season, so you haven't got likes of Messi or Neymar in there, which is quite an interesting sort of one. You got your Mbappes, but what do you make of the actual 23-man team?
No, man, like you say, I'm surprised. I think is the biggest thing. Like, to me, like I knew obviously the massive boost they gave to Rafael Leao meant that he was probably going to be in there, but for no Tots Son seems crazy to me, just given the fact that he won the Golden Boot. Like, if you're taking away aside like football things, his rating was good enough anyway. But I think I was just surprised not to see Son in there.
Potentially, but then like left wing position wise, there's other players that have got higher rated cards. So I guess, and it is a 23-man squad, so it's a bit hard to pick probably the ideal ones, and also you need to distribute it out between all the different sort of positions on the pitch. But LCB, what are you making of the 23-man squad?
Do you know what? One player that I was dying to get my hands on, and I was just looking forward to Ultimate TOTS, thinking, yeah, he's bound to be in there. It was Pedri, and he didn't make the cut. And I get, all right, you got Bellingham in there, but you got KDB in there as well, who personally just is never been it for me in on FIFA. I was hoping to see Pedri in there, But at the end of the day, I'm a prime believer that it's a football game and it should reflect real football. It shouldn't just be like, oh, who's the best players. And I'll put my hands up. I haven't watched that much La Liga, but Brad, I've got to agree with you. I don't know how Sonaldo has been snubbed,
Yeah.
not only for ultimate team of the season, but going into, again, real life football, actual Premier League team of the year as such. He's been snubbed for that as well. Golden Boot winner, no pens. That is crazy.
And that is the thing. Like, surely, I mean, we know that EA will just make up who they want to try and make money. They're here to make money. That's why they do things with packs and things all the time. But surely, like, most of it should really reflect real life football. That's the whole point in team of the season. You know, they're not going to suddenly, they're not to the point where they're going to pick out someone random who's not played well all year, and they're going to get a team of the season. Like, someone's going to at least have a decent season, even if it's not the best in their position for that league. Because you could probably find, like, people will say, like, oh, Messi got his team of the season, but Beauregard was the best in Ligue 1, looking at his performances. But obviously, Beauregard isn't going to sell packs. No one wants that, basically. So that's why Messi will get the team of the season. But in that sense, like, to follow real life football, I was just very surprised that Son wasn't in there, and that, yeah, you then, like you say, getting snubbed for the team of the year was an insult.
But if you were to try and pick, I don't know, one of the players from the 23-man squad that you don't potentially already own as a red or the actual team of the season card, who are you looking to try and pursue the most over the next... I'm guessing it ends on Friday, so over the next sort of like 4-bit days left?
So I've mentioned him, and I also, you know, the TOTS Essentials pack that we had where we got one on loan. I did manage to get Rafael Leao in that loan.
Okay.
So I'm going to try him out, and I'm also looking forward to trying him. So if I could get one, even untradeable, like, I'm not saying it from the coin standpoint, I'd just like to try him out to see what he's like. He won't fit in my team, so I'll have to build a completely new team around him. But, you know, when you've got a player of that caliber, you kind of don't mind sometimes.
Yeah, for me, call me a rat bag, but it's just Ben Yedder. Ben Yedder or Chewy, both will just slip straight into my team. I was lucky enough to pack Gold Messi quite early on into the game cycle, so I've been running League On the whole year. And yeah, lucky enough, League On Weekend League got myself a red Paqueta, which was insane.
Nice.
I haven't played a single game since then yet, but yeah, would love to get my hands on a Ben Yedder up top of player month. Mbappe would definitely get the kids DMing me.
Yeah.
That sounded so weird.
That did sound a little weird.
I mean, all right, let me rephrase that. Would definitely get the haters DMing me. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
We can edit that out.
Yeah.
Wow, that's if it does get edited out.
Yeah,
that's getting clipped.
Out of the editor
That's
room
getting
for
clipped.
myself. For myself, out of all of them, I'd probably be looking at maybe a bit of an unorthodox one. Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, I
I haven't really used him.
See, I'm with LCB. I don't like him in game. I've never liked him in game, in fact. I don't know why. I don't get on with him.
He was until kind of late game, he was my best red. And in terms of got him in team of the season last year in my red, played one game with him and it was straight fodder. I've never got along with him. Same as like, but for me, I don't know, it's them sort of clunky midfield players. People rave about Fekir and Kunku. I've never got along with any of them.
But yeah, so that obviously is mostly Ultimate TOTS. With this has come TOTS Swaps tokens 2. I am looking at the Ligue 1 because I am desperately trying to get either Mbappe or Neymar just before we can't get them anymore, basically. But a lot of people have opted for the 15 tokens for the 84 times 25. I have seen some very distinctly average packs of those on YouTube. Have you used your tokens or spent your tokens yet, and what have you done?
I'll let you come in with this one now.
Yeah, so I have messed up with the TOTS tokens because I already knew that I was going to miss out on a few of them because I went on my stag do. So I missed out on a few of them, and I've totaled up everything. There's obviously 3 in objectives at the minute you can still get. I've got 9 in my club, so I can get a total of 12. So the highest that I can do is the Serie A TOTS player pick 1 of 3. for 9 tokens, or I could go for the Ligue 1 TOTS pack. I'm going back to what I was saying a second ago. Obviously, I do really want either the Chouameni or Ben Yedder, but there's just something about a player pick over a straight up pack that is maybe pulling me towards Serie A TOTS player pick 103. I mean, there's some unreal players in there as well, and this is the first year of Ultimate Team I haven't actually gone for a Serie A TOTS player. So who knows? Could do it. Could get an absolute unreal card and change my team round. But yeah, I think I'm going to go for the Serie A TOTS player pick. If I'd got the tokens, I definitely would have been going for that Ligue 1 player pick, probably the 105 as well, and get the 5 absolute stinkers. But we move.
I mean, I just will forewarn you right now, is since Ultimate TOTS has come out, certain players, so things like Koulibaly, Hernandez as well, they've really dropped down in price. So if you do go for the Serie A team of the season pick, in terms of if you want one worth value-wise, if you say over $500,000, it is only 3 players, and you got Tonali, because Koulibaly his price got slaughtered by Ultimate Team of the Season. If you happen to get him in it, he was worth 400. It was worth 450k, I think it was, before the 6 p.m, and now he's worth 122k. So
some traders lost some money
potentially. You could end up easily picking up the players if you've got the coins anyway. If you don't have the coins, okay, you might not be able to pick them up. But so if you get 5 average ones, or you get Vlahovic, Koulibaly, Berardi and stuff, you could probably just easily just buy them rather than putting tokens in for it. But for myself, with it, I did the 84 plus, and I got myself a dupe Diaz, so fodder, and I got the Fernando goalkeeper. So what wasn't a great one in the end. And the thing is I haven't been able to do many others, because the problem is EA decided that majority of these tokens would be embedded in SBC, not SBCs, in objectives, the player objectives and stuff like that. And it was always you got to have like 7 MLS players, and you got to win 10 games or something like that, or play squad battles. And I was just like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, so essentially you had to like basically do half of an objective, which then basically encouraged you to finish off the objective player. Because what's the point in doing? I think the one of them, the one that you were talking about, LCB, as impacts 12 Argentinian goals in separate games. Well, then you might as well finish off the objective if you're going to do that. You don't want to just stick an Argentinian up front in something else you're doing. You might as well finish off the card, and then that takes up even more of your time than it was already.
Yeah, I do think that this round of tokens, to acquire them was much more time consuming than previously, and it was the objectives that mostly threw me off getting them all, because whilst I was abroad for my stag do, I was looking at 6 p.m. each day. All right, is there a TOTS token SBC? No, there's not. So that's where I just wasn't getting them anymore. And obviously we had the one behind the paywall in the packs. I spent 100k on that. Got some money back with a TOTS Trent, so it only cost me 50k that token, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just not a fan of them doing it that way. I mean, because like you say, of how more unattainable they made the tokens, they then encourage people to basically spend, what is it? Is it £3.29? For 500,
$3.99, I believe it was, for the 500.
Something like that, isn't it? So yeah, so $3.99 times. Well, let's just take a little look at the transfer list at the moment, and say that everybody's listing maybe 3 players on an average each, which they're not, but just take it as that. So you're talking about 1.2 million times £3. So we're talking about 3.5 million on that pack. That's the sort of stuff that's crazy to me. Like, I just don't agree with encouraging people to put their money into the game, and certainly those that aren't putting money into the game are certainly going to think twice about putting 100k into the game, unless they've managed to pack themselves a banger and fill their club up with coins. So yeah, I don't like it. I don't think it's a good way to go about it. But like you say, there's definitely been more around objectives than there has been in SBCs this time around.
Just doing them numbers you just did there, though, you can see why they do it. They tried it out for the first time in whatever tokens it was before, and I think I saw somebody tweet out, and I don't know what their source was, but they grossed 100 million profit on it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
100 million.
Are you talking about the first one?
Yeah.
Winter Wildcards
Yeah.
was the first.
So the first time,
swaps.
apparently, I don't know the source. It was just on Twitter. Apparently, the first time they put a TOTS token in a pack, in that space of 24 hours or in the space of a week or something like that, from that pack, EA grossed $100 million in profit. And so they've trialed something, and they're going, yeah, people are going to be spending a lot of money on this. Let's do it again.
Yeah. And that's all they care about at the end
just-
of the day. They're not bothered about the game that we're playing. They just want to make money. We know that.
I mean, if that is the case, so they made 100 million, essentially just from the $3.99 sale, that would have meant 25,062,656 people brought $3.99 or 500 FIFA points.
Yeah.
To just open up the pack.
Which is possible, isn't it? If
You
you
can
look how
easily
many
see it
people there
done.
are to do it. Yeah.
Easily done. You could probably
Yeah.
see it being even more.
But yeah. That's
They
probably
make
just their
it-
profit.
EA make a insane amount of money from gamble packs. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous, and that's why you see. Is it Belgium who have made it illegal?
Yeah, Belgium
boxes?
have got it illegal. And I think there's a couple of other
I
countries.
think there is a
on
couple. Yeah, I
top
don't think
that.
it's just them now. I
I
think
think
there's a couple of European countries
Netherlands?
that have done it.
I believe the Netherlands might do.
Yeah, I
because
think
they
Switzerland have they done it as well?
gambled.
Maybe. I think, but yeah.
Possibly, yeah. I even think like New Zealand or something like that as well, potentially.
Yeah, I think it's the way it needs to go in order to like stop people like getting addicted too much or wasting their money on things, you know.
Oh yeah, mate. My
But it's
mum will never let me forget when I think 13-year-old me or something like that spent like 300 quid on her card just tapping away because it was
Oh.
connected to my Xbox account. Long day.
yeah, I was gonna say that wouldn't have gone well, gone down well at all.
Few car washes that.
Want to say a big thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring the podcast. They have sent us all out the Performance Package 4.0 to try it out so that we can recommend this for you guys. And let me just say, I have tried it out and it is a very good product. All the products within it are very good. But let me just talk about what is inside of it. So we have the Lawnmower 4.0. And the Lawnmower 4.0, the blades on it are designed to help reduce yourself from having any accidents and potentially cutting yourself whilst trimming yourself down below. It also has a nice LED light on it so you can see where you're cutting. It also comes with a LED indicator so that you know how much battery charge is left, so you know when you need to charge it up. It is also waterproof, as is the Weed Whacker, which is the nose and ear trimmer. So if you need to trim the hairs on your nose or ears, it is the perfect product for you. It also comes with some nice deodorant and toner so that once you are done, you can freshen yourself up afterwards. The Performance Package 4.0 also comes with a pair of boxers of your chosen size and a travel bag so that you can keep everything in a nice storage location at hand. And to top that off, Manscaped have kindly given us a 20% off code that you can use at checkouts for any product that is on the website. So if you want to get yourself 20% off and free shipping, use code FREEFOOTTIERS at checkouts. And thank you again to Manscaped for sponsoring the podcast. So that is it for the top swaps. But to tie in with Ultimate Team season as well, we got a sort of like a mini sort of promo, even though it's not actually got a dedicated promo. But we are finally getting end of the era cards. So, you know, since Aguero announced his retirement, you know, we've been talking about end of era cards and stuff. Who's going to be getting them? Who's not going to be getting them? And finally, that can be answered. So we started off with Fabregas and Mata as objective players, and Di Maria getting an SBC card on Friday. And we've had Insigne, we've got Noble today. So we've got a few, and it seems to be daily at the moment, the SBCs. But it's been a while, you know. Some players like Aguero Hopefully Guerrero will be coming out.
Yeah, it's been a long
And
time
there's
coming.
many other players. What are we thinking of these end of era cards, you know? Because these tend to be like almost end game level sort of cards normally.
Yeah, and I think that's why I don't mind that we're kind of waited till now a little bit to get them, because at least they're going to get like the cards that they deserve. I think to like suddenly give someone a 91 card in maybe like November or December when we find out it's their last season would be a little bit silly. Whereas now they can keep them in keeping with some of the TOTS cards that they've made this year, and they get really heavily boosted cards. I mean, I'm still a little bit disappointed. I know it's an upgrade still, and I saw a team take, or I watched half of a team takedown on him today. But Di Maria still, 3-star weak foot. I know it's an upgrade on his 2-star, but it still kind of makes him not unusable, but just a little bit. I don't know. You can be a little bit more
Undesirable.
tentative with him in front of goal. Yeah, undesirable, especially for his price and things. So I think if they gave him that 4-star weak foot, then he'd be a much more sought after SBC.
He's the most expensive one as well.
He is, yeah, yeah. And I think like people are going to do some for nostalgia purposes anyway. Like Mark Noble, pretty much every West Ham supporter is going to do Mark Noble, and a lot of other people will still do it because it looks like an alright card for its price. But the free ones, obviously, or in terms of free, other than your time, Fabregas and Mata, on the face of it, their stats don't actually look that amazing. Mata is okay, but he's medium, 4-star, 3-star. As a cam, I mean, obviously, he doesn't really strike me as a cam in that sense. It screams more of a centre mid, box to box. He has got like 96 stamina. The one that confused me actually with his stats was 99 jumping. I don't really know what that's going to do for him at 5'7", but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not
It's
racing
weird.
to do either of them. Fabregas, 3-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot at centre mid, but you look at his stats and he's nowhere near any of the other Ligue 1 centre mids that anybody who would fit him in his team would have. And the same with Mata. Yeah, he looks more of a centre mid, but then 50 defending, so you're going to have to play
Yeah,
Cam.
yeah.
Literally the only other than kind of Mark Noble, looks very decent as well, but is Insigne for me. I'm not racing to do any of the others. I think we've seen he's seen Schmelzer as well. Who is going to do
Yeah, he
it?
does look pretty decent, but
Who's going to
you
do
can
him?
get. Yeah,
Do you know what I
I
mean?
don't know many people rocking a Bundesliga team anyway, but like you can get like your Gunters and things are around for cheap.
If I was still doing my Bundesliga like I have done in previous years, I would have done him. But the problem is that I've felt very underwhelmed every time I've used Bundesliga players. Same with Serie A, and that's probably why I've not got on with like using Dybala and all the other players, is because I just don't seem to get on very well with the Serie A players. I don't know what it is. They don't seem to gel for me in game. The La Liga and Prem at the moment for me, I think, and maybe a bit of Liga because I've got my team of the year, Kimi, in my team. But I think with the objective players, with Fabregas and Mata, to be fair, like it's generally a thing anyway throughout the year. The objective players, you have some hits, like a few hits here and there, but majority of the time, they're very underwhelming or meh-ish sort of like cards, realistically.
Well, we talked about it on the last episode, didn't we? The TOTS moments, Ansu Fati.
Yeah. What a player.
Being an objective card, and you think like, well, how have we got something of that caliber in that particular promo? Yet in Premier League we got De Gea, and it's not consistent enough, is it really? Like either you give a mediocre player that's fairly usable to most people, or you give a good player and make it more difficult, or you give them a rubbish player but make the objectives more easy. I think the flitting in between all of them means at some point we're always going to be disappointed, which is just, I mean, I say that, but we're always just a bit disappointed with FIFA anyway, so you're probably never going to strike it out, but that's one area where they could avoid it from happening a bit more, I suppose.
Yeah, I've really tried not to be so negative with the game, but it's just when things aren't making sense, and the requirements that they put up on certain cards are just not consistent across the board. I think we're going to talk about something similar to that later on. But Schmelzer, for example, coming in at 117k for his SBC on PlayStation, or you can go and grab yourself a tradable Alfonso Davies for 100k. If I had fodder, which I don't, but if I had fodder, the only one I'd be putting my fodder into is Insigne. He looks unreal. Don't know if any of you have got him and tried him, but he looks absolutely
No, I haven't.
cracked.
I'm the same. I don't have fodder at the moment. We've also then got, alongside sort of TOTS and everything that's going on, another team sort of promo come along, and it's the Conmebal cards. Now, I haven't really seen much about this in terms of the cards and what they are and whether I would want to use any, but I have obviously heard the main thing being that one of them was extinct for a while. It is Man City bound Alvarez. Now I saw like his 84 like in form at one point during the year. I think I packed it untradeable, and at the time then it looked pretty good. I had him as a super sub come on. But yeah, he was extinct for a while at 1.2 million, and now he's dropped down to 1 mil. But have you guys seen many of the players from this, and is there anyone there you think looks like a decent super sub?
I think, to be fair, some of them look like they could be decent super subs, and as with most of the sort of like sub league team season lit players, you have the 1-2 players over 100k, but the rest are like very, very cheap. So
Yeah.
the cheap ones that do have some decent looking stats can be considered maybe super sub. Like, for instance, in the rest of the world, in my guaranteed pack, I got the Romanian centre forward. I don't know what his name was, but I looked at his face stats and I was like, that is incredible. Like, pace, dribbling, shooting, passing, I think, was all over 90.
Yeah.
But then I looked at the actual card and I think it was 3-star. And I was like, oh, great. So the problem is you look at the face stats for these cards and you'd be like, oh, that could be a good super sub. But then you actually have to delve deep into actually what is the skill moves, what's weak for, what are the in-game stats. And then that is probably the deciding factor. But the man that normally tries out these sort of players is on holiday.
Yes, he is. But I mean, like, just picking one of those out that like has fairly good stats and isn't stupidly expensive. So I'm looking at Benedetto. He's Argentinian, so obviously that does mean you can link him quite well. He's 260k, so it's not like breaking the bank, but he looks very good. And actually, he is 4-star, 5-star. So he's 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot. I haven't looked at his in games, but his face stats look pretty good. He has 99 composure, so he shouldn't really miss in front of goal. Generally, looks like an insane card, and if I got him untradeable, would definitely be the sort of super sub I would want. What about you, LCB? What would you say?
Yeah, he was the one of the two, other than obviously your boy Alvarez from River Plate, who I was going to pick out. Benedetto does look absolutely insane. But Rodriguez as well, other than dribbling and physicality, he's almost 90 plus gang. And he looks very, very tasty. Just having a quick look at him. 4-star as well, high, medium. So yeah, he would be someone 42k as well. I mean, Uruguayan, so it's going to be difficult to. You're only going to be able to get really a soft link unless you're surrounded by icons. But yeah, I mean, Conmebol, I think going back a few years ago, it was something that EA introduced to grow the team in South America. But again, going back to what I was talking about earlier, it's a football game. It's a worldwide football game as well. So I'm all here for these sorts of promos.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think so it weren't. I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before that. I used these cards to trade with, because of how they were. I don't know why, but everyone seemed to get the price really wrong. And I was like sniping a load of them at like 20 odd K, and they were actually 45k cards. And I remember that like over a space of a few days, I'd made like $500,000 or something crazy, just by trading on these cards. I don't think it will happen anymore, certainly with the way things are botted on trades and stuff now. And also I was on Xbox then, where the market is nowhere near as competitive for snipes and trading as it is now. But yeah, so I'm a big fan of this promo. It made me some coins some year. The only thing I would say about the Benedetto, looking at him now, is that he's medium. So I do like high attacking on my strikers. But like I say, if I got him untradeable, then I wouldn't mind trying him out and seeing how good he is.
We've had an SBC for it, which is a centre back. Nothing too exciting, but he is only 25k for the SBC, which is Berdisso. So he's got 85 pace, 91 defending, 97 physicality though on the card. So if you got some Argentine players like Romero, Acuna and stuff, you could potentially maybe fit him in the team, but would probably need to have an icon centre back because there isn't really any decent Argentine goalkeepers in the game.
Yeah,
Let's be fair.
You've also got tradable, the Catalan 93 pace centre back, although 2-star weak foot. Probably see him kicking
the
the ball.
Argentinian guy.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's some nice cards in there. Nice cards in there.
Yeah, but look at the work rates of Catalan. High-low.
There we go.
For centre back.
Wowzers. Yeah. No way.
you probably have to put him maybe CDM, switch him in game, or in a free back if you like being. It's a bit weird seeing high-low on
Yeah, I don't like
back.
it. It makes me feel itchy.
Yeah, for me that's instantly unusable.
Yeah, definitely.
You could give the guy 99 pace, 99 defending, and cost 15k with low defending. I know these game dynamics. I know how the game works, and I know I'm gonna get rinsed with him in the back, even if he's absolutely juiced.
Yeah. Definitely.
The one point that you need him to be somewhere, he just won't be there.
No, you'll see him running during their celebration of their goal. You'll see him running from the centre circle.
Probably. And that is it with like the main sort of like team of season and all the ultimate TOTS level content. We have gone into a new season now, so we've got like the new season rewards. Now it's a bit interesting because as we are in team of season and coming out, well, in fact we're coming out of team of season because it is the final week of team of season. So you got your level 30 content, but however, the level 30 players are only 91 rated, which is interesting because by the time you get there, which is but normally if you grind out all the objectives to get the experience points, you could probably get there in maybe just short of 4 weeks.
Yeah, you're looking.
So you're talking
mid-July.
You're looking footies probably going to be talking about footies in that sort of time when you're probably looking then at 95, 96 players pretty much as a bog standard.
Yeah,
definitely.
As promo players and stuff, and people just having really high-end team. And the other thing is, obviously, these season rewards are all off-league players as well. Yes, there are some good nations in there. So if I go through like the level 15 ones, which are the ones that you can more easily get to first. So you have Linson from the Eredivisie for Feyenoord. You have Gibbs from the MLS. And then you have Rossi from the Portuguese League CDM. So these are all 88 rated. Do any of those three, if you've seen them, actually like tickle your fancy? Or you just like, yeah, these are just basically SBC fodder?
Yeah, no, pretty much that.
Completely SBC fodder. Which upsets me because I don't remember if I don't know if either of you two remember, but there was an objective card last year for the Serie A. Duncan, I can remember doing it.
Oh, he was so good,
unbelievable. I can remember doing
Fiorentina centre mid.
Yeah, I can remember doing one of my.
Oh man, he was so good.
Very first kind of player reviews on him, and it was like, you could get a gold rare N'Golo Kante for 400k. Or you, and so that's the point in the game that it was at. Kante was still 400k, and we was getting this guy at level 15, and he was insane. But this year the cards have just not been there. I've not put a single one of these cards in my team all year.
No.
Yeah, no. That's the problem. This year's been off leagues. Last year was main leagues. Like, So the main one I used from last year in my first team was Siglio, right back for Lyon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Same.
He
yeah.
was
I
absolutely great.
I used to use
think
him
he
on
was
a lot of
91
series.
rated or something like that.
Yeah.
Or something around that sort of ballpark. And yeah, when it's a full back or that sort of rating, you know that it's somebody you could potentially use for a while.
Yeah.
Because full backs are those sort of positions where ratings tend to be a bit lower, so there's a bit less available to potentially look up for first teams and stuff. So that was great. But then moving over to level 30, which I've got to say, I think there's only one candidate that can possibly be the one that people are taking. Any of the other two, I think, they don't look that interesting. So you've got Ferrati, who is a German cam, and he's from the Dutch league. Then you've got Knockhart for Fulham, so French. That's a key right there. But his stats aren't too bad, I've got to say. And then you have Marquecas, who is a Brazilian centre-back from none other than the Portuguese league. So, 91 pace, 92 defending, 90 physical, Brazilian. Could possibly put him in to a team. But
And the thing is, though,
me,
during the year, like, you don't mind that, because during the year, you're looking at someone who might be potentially in your Portugal league players that are going to be when you're going to do objectives throughout the year. But we're now in June.
And
yes.
And going back to what Mer said a second ago, it's going to be early to mid-July until anyone can get their hands on these players.
Exactly,
And at that point, you're going to be packing 94, 95 rated players and selling them for 50 to 100k.
Yes.
That's the reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get EA thinking. I just don't get it.
I'm pretty sure if you mirrored it to last year and the season, that would have been probably towards the end of team of the season, and I might have to Google it, but I saw on Twitter a comparison, and it was 93 and 94 rated players, I believe it was.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw.
And I think Origi might have been. No, I think Origi might have been a bit later.
I've just been trying to find the tweet because I think I'm on it. I was thinking of the exact same one you were talking about. I'm looking at one right now. There was a 95 rated Bale striker for Real Madrid, 99 pace, 97 shooting, 93 passing. Wow.
How different is that?
That card, everyone would take him. Everyone would be like, wow, all right, get me to level 30.
Yeah, you'd have some drive, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%.
To do it. But
there's also been the likes in previous years, also been the likes of Anthony Martial as well. All of these cards which are not just usable, but actually meta.
Yeah.
For free. I'm just putting in a bit of effort.
Yeah, it's the difference between having an endgame card and a card that's going to go into an SBC.
If they made these 95, so you make Knockout 95, so you add on maybe plus 4s or plus 5s on their stats, so it'd be like 96 pace, 92 shooting, 95 or 94 passing, 96 dribbling, 90 physical. Like, that card in July would be a bit more tempting, and 100% maybe tempting to put into the starting team as well, even though he is in the Championship. But French is not hard to link into a team, especially if you have the likes of Cantona, Zidane, Vieira and stuff in your starting lineup, because you can always use a full free, and there you go. Just got the one strong link that you need to someone like Knockout, and you're done and dusted, and you can just worry about the rest of the team.
Even at level 15, if you look at out of those three, the only one that I was kind of thinking he's okay is the Liga Portugal Rossi. Give him a +4, make him a 92 for level 15 with 92 pace, 93 defending, 90 dribbling, 91 physicalities, high, medium high. It's a class centre defensive mid class.
Yeah.
Exactly. But no, EA have probably done a major L in terms of the season reward players this year.
Yeah, definitely.
no one's really talked about them. You don't really see them. The only time you might see them is in the objectives, but that's about it realistically. And even then, most of the objectives that you're going to use them for are all squad battle objectives as well, to be fair.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much like icon swaps, isn't it, sort of thing.
In which case, you probably don't really need these players for icon swaps.
No,
you
not
could
at
easily
all.
just use the bog standard gold cards and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a special. So it does even put a big stamp of it's just fodder
Yeah.
on these players.
Would it be comparable? Just throwing it out there. Would getting 22 TOTS tokens be comparable to getting level 30 in season rewards? Would if so, you can for 22 you could get that Essien, and he's clear of all of them. That's the
Yeah,
pretty much.
I know it's an outlandish comparison to make, but I'm talking about
No, but I understand what you're saying.
in terms of time frame. Over the course of that time frame, you could get 22 TOTS tokens and get yourself a Michael Essien. Again, I know we're saying he's a little bit behind the power curve, but he's clear of any of those.
And the fact that you spoke about Essien there is another point that I want to talk about, which I've heard some people talking about lately, is the icon SBCs. So we've got yet another rehashed icon SBC player pick, same requirements, nothing's changed about it. But the problem is, it's as another week goes by where in some ways the icon values are going down, but the value of the SBC stays the same. But the problem is, if the value stays the same, it means that there is more L's essentially being added to it in terms of value wise, because you could just end up picking them up for a similar sort of price. But do you think they should be, if they do rehash it, they need to really look at the requirements for it? So rather than it being 289s and 288s this week, maybe it should have been an 89, 288s and an 87 instead, to sort of more go in line with the value of the icons going down, so that it sort of reflects that. Because let's also face it, the number of icons that are going to be usable as well goes down over time as well, because you've got the team season cards that are pretty much a majority of them are better than the majority of the icons. So that makes even, again, more chance of an L available in the player picks. What are you thinking? Do you think that they should lower it, or do you think they're justified in keeping it as the same requirements week in, week out?
I think you made two really good points. The second point, firstly, was talking about the usability of the icons. And you're right, because I was in the middle of, not in the middle actually, I was far from the middle. I'd done about 3, maybe 4 parts of doing Moments Vieira, but I got to the point now where I thought, does he start in my team? And my decision was actually, no, he probably doesn't start in my team, so I stopped doing him. The second part, and the more important talking point that we talk about, the requirements for it, leave the requirements the same, but make it 93 plus moments player pick. Or make it 92 plus 1 of 5 icon moments player picks. Rather than just recycling the exact same SBC. Genuinely, I feel like throughout the course of the year, the icon, the kind of main icon SBC that's being released in content should predominantly increase throughout the year, to the point where in a month and a half, or let's say kind of mid-July, we have 1 of 3 95 plus icon moments player picks for a million coins.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think like they obviously are going to increase as we now go through the game, but I think they're almost like 1 behind, or maybe even 2 behind, in terms of where, like, so if you now get one of those icons, they aren't quite in the curve of the game now. You have to pack the top, like the cream of the crop now, for that to be usable in your team. But if this SBC would have been out maybe a month ago, some of those mid-tier players still make some people's teams, so it's not so
100%,
bad.
100%.
But the problem you've got is, I don't mind if they do it 288s and 289s again, but take the team of the season requirements out then, just to make it that little bit more affordable, that little bit cheaper. that just I think when you do recycle the same SBC a week later, where already, we're now on end of era cards, we're now looking at ultimate team of the season, whereas last week it wasn't. It just needs to either be more affordable, or like LCB said, they need to be a better caliber of player. Either or, don't keep it the same.
No, you're spot on, because I'm looking at. I've just literally, as you said that, just thought, let me have a look at my team and just look through, and other than your Cruyffs, your Pelés, your Hullets, I can't see where any other icon moments is getting in my team. I got Moments Butra from one of my 93 plus packs, which is a dub. I think at the time when I packed him, he was just over $1 million. He sat on my bench with Ansu Fati, and you know what? When it comes to me going back into the weekend league eventually, and it's the 70th minute, and I need a goal, I'm putting on Ansu Fati.
Yeah,
that was a free card. That I'm putting over Moments Booster again,
Yeah. So again, make it comparable. Yep, you've got some that aren't even as good as a free card. Let's move away from FIFA, because it does always come with some... I think every single part of FIFA you talk about comes with some negativity. And let's talk real world football. Now, LCB, you are a Villa fan.
Mighty Villa. Up the Villa.
So, before I get into looking at what transfers have happened and gossip that's happening, tell us what's going on with Villa at the moment.
So the Mighty Villa are Gerrard's at the wheel, and we're finishing top 8 next year. We have now alienated the whole of the Newcastle United fan base. They all hate us because they hate our transfer strategy of signing people who are close to retirement, like Philippe Coutinho. Apparently he's close to retirement. But yeah, we're no, all joking aside, I think we're doing some smart business. We just signed a youngster from Rangers who's he scored like 49 goals this year, and yeah, it's all in the right direction. It was all looking downhill when Super Jackie Grealish left us and Dean Smith wasn't far behind. But no, we're back in some positivity, making some good business, and yeah, looking ahead to the future well.
And I'm right in thinking you signed Diego Carlos?
Yes, what a signing as well. And again, it's one of those signings where the way I see it is that as a Villa fan, we've gone through this, let's say, 5-year period, which was kind of like a fairy tale. You had the boy from Aston Villa youth coming through and captaining the club, and then you've got an Aston Villa fan whose dad used to be the steward as a manager. We went through COVID together and was living through this whole fairy tale. And then a lot of cult heroes developed at the time. And one of those cult heroes, that coming back to the point, is Tyrone Mings, where I really like him. He's our captain. And then Gerrard signs one of the, I don't know if highest rated centre backs in Europe is a stretch, but a highly rated centre back in Europe.
Very highly rated.
Yeah. Signs him, and then a lot of the fan base is like, oh, well, what about Mings? What do you mean? What about Mings? Yeah, he's our captain. Yes, he's also a left-sided centre back, but our owners have got ambitions. We've got ambitions to go further, and to do that, players are gonna go. Players like Jack Grealish, all right, would have been amazing to keep him, but he's gone. We're rebuilding. We're through a point of transition. Some other players will leave. Some will stay, and that's football.
Can I just chime in here? You saying that you rate Tyrone Mings
as a Villa fan? Yeah, love him. Is what I was getting at in terms of the cult heroes. So I think he had 2 really, really good years, and he obviously got his way into England at the time. And I think he is prone to a mistake, which is what gets all the YouTube and the Twitter highlights.
Yeah,
but if you watch him week in, week out, and you look statistically over the past year, we have not even flooded. We have sank goals into our net when Tyrone Mings has been out of the team in comparison to him being in there. But it's more than just being a footballer; it's leadership as well. So, but the stats are there, and we need to improve our defence. And we've signed Diego Carlos to do that. Why do you not rate him, Mers?
Solid. No, because of literally, it seems to be a weekly competition between him and Harry Maguire on who can make the most errors or costly errors that lead to goals or something. And I don't think.
We just invited him on, Mers. Don't annoy him straight away.
You
Jesus
know
Christ.
it. I love talking about football, but to put Tyrone Mings in the same bracket as Harry Maguire, come on, I'll switch off right now.
Yeah, I've got to say that I think that's a little bit harsh on Tyrone Mings. Harry Maguire's in a league of his own at the moment, and that league is conference.
I don't know. If you watch the videos, you would be saying the same thing as me about Tyrone Mings.
But you know, I'm going to trust the guy that watches him week in, week out. If I'm honest, and I'd like to say I don't support a team directly, so I'm going to take it. You know, I can't really comment on anything else other than what I see, and all I ever see is match of the day on him. So I couldn't comment enough. That's just highlights at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, we are looking. Obviously, the main sort of big transfer is that it is officially a done deal now. We've seen plenty of pictures of the man in the shirt. Erling Haaland has signed officially for Man City. I mean, so you guys obviously are supporters of teams, but surely it must bring a little bit of excitement to you, even though, you know, you're going to be facing the guy 1 week.
I mean, he's cost less than Nunes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He's
Which is
look, Premier League is the best league in the world, and we want the best
Without a
player.
doubt.
We want the best players there, and you want to watch players like Haaland. I'm just going to put it out there. I genuinely think he's going to score 25 plus goals next year, which
Me
is
too.
mad. But yeah, in his first season, 25 plus goals. I reckon
I think
35 plus goal contributions as well.
we've seen plenty of like big players come and flop, but I don't feel it with this guy. I feel like there's just something about him. He has like a different kind of star quality about him.
100%.
And I just think I think whilst we've seen a lot of class players come and not do so well, I just don't think he is going to be one to mess it up, and especially given the fact that he's got this supply from, you know, all the Man City players. I don't know who's going to be going this year. I know that Barca want Bernardo Silva, which is insane, really, because based on the fact that Bernardo Silva was nearly out of the door and out of favour, and then suddenly he's had probably the best season since he's been there, and I would doubt very much that Pep would want to see him go. So it just, yeah, I think with all the supply he's going to have this year, like I'm with you, I can see him. I see that he's definitely going to get over 20 goals and, yeah, 30, 35 goal contributions in his first season. You'll take that every day of the week, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he grabs a golden boot next year. Man City win the league again.
So looking at some of the sort of like main sort of done deals at the moment, so we've got Tchouaméni has gone to Real Madrid. We've got picking out some more. Lacazette has gone on a free to Lyon from Arsenal. Don't think you're too bold about that one, are you, Mers, really?
no, not at all. Goodbye.
Fraser Forster to Spurs on a free. It's not a bad backup goalkeeper. He's probably a little bit past it now.
Another Spurs one, Perisic.
Yes, Perisic, yeah.
I think that's a great signing.
It could be, couldn't it? I mean, he is probably, I wouldn't say past it. He's getting more towards the end of his career. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see him in.
I think
the
he'll
Premier
play.
League.
I think he'll play left wing back for Conte.
You do.
I think that's where Spurs have been also struggling a little bit as well.
Arsenal have signed this Marquinhos guy from Sao Paulo.
From PSG, wow.
19-year-old. Yeah, this 19-year-old Brazilian forward. Don't know anything about him, but I'm guessing they're looking to the future with him, maybe, a bit like they did with Martinelli.
Basically, that's all it is.
And look how he's turned out. I think he's going to be a standout player for you now in the next couple of seasons.
Yes, but I think he'd probably still be a partial rotation player, potentially, depending on what else we do during the summer as well.
But then we have got some rumours that we'll just touch on now, and then we'll leave sort of this week in football alone and get onto the Q&A. We've got Paul Pogba. Looks like he's going back to Juventus. I don't think Man United will miss him too much. If he's not, he's one of them players. If he's not in the game or doesn't feel like he's in the game, then he just stops working, and you don't really want that out of your players. Steven Bergwijn looks like he's maybe going to head back towards the Netherlands. I think that's a bit of a shame because he's had a couple of clutch moments for them, but if he doesn't fit into the fold and he's out of favour, then you can understand it. It looks like, and this is a strange one, Christian Eriksen. He looks like he wants to step up his challenge after having his year at Brentford, and has interest from, now this is what baffles me, Spurs and Man United. Now, on his
Really?
recovery, he was training at Spurs, right? Why did they not sign him?
Because I think it was a risk. I think it was a massive risk, and but it was an absolutely awful thing that obviously happened to him.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful moment in football in terms of how the whole community around the tournament came to him. But any team that was going to pick him up, it was going to be a massive risk, because he himself said he doesn't know whether he'll play football again.
Yeah.
And something I'll compare it to is Stilian Petrov, Aston Villa captain. Unfortunately got leukemia, and once he recovered, he came back to Villa, and Roberto Di Matteo wouldn't give him a contract because it's such a risk, and it's a professional business at the end of the day. But he's done well for Brentford this year, I think.
Very well indeed. Yeah, deserves all the plaudits he's got, and I know he's not going to be a first team pick for either of Tottenham or Man United, which at the same time I also think is a shame, because he's on the starter sheet for a team like Brentford every week, isn't he? But he won't be for Spurs and Man United. I don't think. I think he'll be a rotated player. So whilst it might be a new challenge to step up again after what happened to him, I also think he'll get less football. That might be in his design. That might be what he's after, to try and help sort of protect himself. We don't know sort of what goes on behind the scenes, I guess. But it just seems a little bit of a shame. I think like he would get full game time there. Man United look still to be interested in Anthony and Frankie de Jong. But really, in terms of the big transfers, that is pretty much it in the rumours and gossip there, unless you guys have heard of or know of any more.
Tammy Abraham to Aston Villa.
that
would actually be a very good signing.
Mate, I'd love it. And then Jack Grealish can come back next year, get the band back together.
No, not going to happen. You have to pay a pretty penny back to Man City, probably.
Well,
to get him
I've
back.
got a couple of friends who are Villa fans, and they are very, very confident on us signing Jack Grealish within the next 3 seasons for around 30 million.
Really?
Yeah, and a lot of Villa fans think that as well. Not a lot of Villa fans would want him back at the same time. I'd be in the lesser of them too, but I'd love to see him back. But yeah, if he continues to in the vein that he's going, but as I said, I think he's going to have a standout season next year.
Yeah, so I can see what you're saying in terms of if he doesn't manage to find his feet in Man City, but I really do think he will.
Yeah,
genuinely, I think it's just kind of like a feeling out process at the moment. And again, like you may not see it this year because he's now got after getting used to playing a whole year where there's been no striker and the forwards have been sort of playing, or the wingers have been playing as forwards rather. Yeah. He's now going to have a striker to play off.
And not just any striker as well. We're talking...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not just any striker, but like one of the upcoming, like potentially world's best.
People discuss who's better between this kid and Mbappe. Come on, let's be honest. He's gonna...
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited to see Man City next year. I can't wait for him to absolutely batter us.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's weird, like when you're a supporter of another club, it feels weird to be able to say that, but at the same time, it's just exciting. It is exciting for football. This is what we want. This is why I've always been, and I don't want to start another debate because we do want to get on the Q&A, but this is why I've always said I'm a Ronaldo over Messi guy. And it is only because, and purely only because Messi hasn't come to the Premiership. If Messi came to the Premiership and did exactly what he does everywhere else, don't get me wrong, Messi's the best in the world. But for me, it's Ronaldo at the moment because he's come back again as well. And look what he's done this season. People have said, obviously, he's been a bit average, but actually he hasn't been a bit average. He has got an average Man United out of some very difficult positions and got them some points and, further in the Champions League than they ever would have been if he wasn't there.
He's the greatest of all time. You don't need to convince me.
But don't get me wrong, if Messi turned up for Man City and did bits, then we've probably got more of a debate on our hands again.
Well, I think we better swiftly move on to the Q&A section from that. I know if Luke was here, he wouldn't be happy with you right now.
I know. That's why I said it today.
Right, and speaking of Luke, even though he is on holiday, he has supplied us with a question for the Q&A. So I am going to play that right now.
Guys, you can't get rid of me that easily. We still got the Q&A section. My question to you, though, is what has been your favourite month this FIFA and why? Based on promos, gameplay, SBCs, whatever factor you want. My answer's April. It brought out the Showdown series, tried something new. FUT captains, some unique cards. Fantasy FUT, interesting concept. And it started Team of the Season with the community. I think it's pretty good in terms of promos. I don't know about you.
And Al, do you want to start?
Yes, yeah, cool. Thanks for the question, Luke. I'm going for the exact same reasons as Luke, but I'm picking an entirely different month, and that's December. Same thing for me. Winter Wildcard signature signings were my two favourite promos this year. I was absolutely sending FIFA back at that stage. I was like, I'm talking 7 nights a week, just on the game, grinding the game, and the build up to Team of the Year at that point as well. Just with the promos as well, it's like, all right, EA, I know what you're doing. You're seeing that I've got 100 packs saved, and you're toying with me, showing me this Renato Sanchez, showing me this Atal, and want me to open up these packs, showing me this Ben Yedder as well. You know, I've mentioned him a few times today. What a month December was for me. But I entirely understand what Luke's saying with April. It's the exact same thing, isn't it? 2 incredible promos in a build up to a big statement part of the year. But yeah, I'll just go for December for me.
Oh, I feel like I want to potentially call you out on that. I'm pretty sure signature sign-ins only fell in November because I'm pretty sure it ended on the Monday.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure because it was the Black Friday weekend, isn't it? So I'm pretty sure they went out of packs.
Well, let's just go winner one.
Say it was a month of FIFA. The last 2 weeks of November and the first 2 weeks of December.
Maybe. But that kind of month prior to Team of the Year.
Yeah.
As such.
The 4-week period. But he specifically wants.
I'm going December.
Month,
I'm going December.
So
I'm going December.
They're going December.
I'm locking it in.
So with one of the worst promos, yeah.
One of the worst, you reckon?
Fire and Ice.
Oh God,
Fire and Ice
was the worst. Yeah.
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 These guys think it's the worst promo. I think it was bad.
It's not as bad as numbers up, but it is definitely there.
Yeah.
Might have to be April still.
Changing his
answer. I'm
going
with December.
You're sticking with
just because of how much I enjoyed the game at that point in comparison to how much I enjoyed it over April. December for me.
I'm just going to be that guy that says September.
Love that.
So it's because
1 week.
it was before they did whatever they did to goalkeepers. I preferred it when they saved things. I don't like the goalkeepers this year. I don't like that they do matrix dives when you hit the ball straight at them, and don't even get anywhere near the ball. Everyone knows my gripe with goalkeepers on this. I've talked about it pretty much every single week. But also, it's not just that. It's that excitement of that first, like, I mean, I don't know how you guys manage it, but at the start, I put on those first, 12,000 FIFA points, and just to get players in my club and see if I can pack someone out of a 7.5k pack to sell and get me some coins in the club to start off. I love it. I love that, teamed up with the fact that the gameplay was probably the best right then before they nerfed it and made it terrible.
Gameplay is always the best at the start of the game, but you're saying September, so you've chose a month where we had the game for 4 days plus web app.
Okay, so here we go again. October then. September-y, October-y area.
No, I mean, it's not FIFA. It was specifically for FIFA 22, but yeah, September for FIFA 21 is also a good month because we had the 85 plus times 10 pack.
Was that in September, really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would have been towards. I think it was the very beginning of September.
Jesus.
So it might have been like the very, very end of August, very beginning of September.
That was a fun time.
Basically.
I did recycling packs to try and see if I could get those 99 rated cards or how many times I could pack that Acuna.
But what a
I'm
card.
pretty sure.
What a card, hey?
I'm pretty sure it expired around the 16th or the 15th of September, because it was a week before, because I was doing the icon SBCs, like going, yes, I've got myself a 99 Pele, but unfortunately there's only like 7 days left of this game, so I'm not really going to be able to
Yeah.
use him.
Yeah, I did get Ronaldinho and I was buzzing. Like,
I was about to say the same thing. I think on my FIFA 21 account I've got a Ronaldinho with 5 games played.
yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it? How bad is that for FIFA 21 that we're talking about one of its best months being when the game was nearly dead? But yeah, FIFA 21 was horrendous as a whole for me.
It's all the psychological warfare by EA with filling us with joy, filling us with hope, making us want to pre-order the game. That's why in some ways the August September time in the FIFA cycle tends to be the best time
to get
in
you
FIFA
hyped.
because you're hyped, you're relaxed, because at the same time you're like, it's the end of the game, I don't care. Coins, I'll just buy the fodder to do like the 85 times 10, and then because the 85 plus times 10 was repeatable, and you could use half of the pack to do another one, and then the other half to do the icon SBC. So it's just like that endorphins making you feel happy, because at the end of the day,
sending me back. I feel like I've just gone on like a memory of holiday or something. It's lovely.
Because at the end of the day, what do what do all FIFA players do, like pretty much probably 11 months of the year? They complain about FIFA. So the EA know that we're hating FIFA, so they need something to make us buy the next installment, and that's why September normally is the best time. But for me, I'm going to say January, because it is Winter Wildcards. I think Winter Wildcards just sort of expired towards, I think it was maybe the first week. I think it went into the new year, or it was the Winter Wildcard swaps sort of was going into the new year, and then the big thing, team of the year at the end of the day. You got that excitement, and I think this year, because of the guaranteed ratings and stuff, and just me saving up packs, I think it was the best. The actual time that I managed to pack a team of the year player without having to buy FIFA points as well.
Who'd you get?
Which is great. This year I got team of the year Hakimi, and I got Donnarumma twice. One tradable, one untradeable. So
yeah, my two were Hakimi and Donnarumma, and Hakimi's still in my squad as well.
Same here, and he's my most capped player now. He has overtaken Kante.
I'm just gonna stay silent. It's fine.
Did you pack any, Brad?
Well, this is the one.
No, I didn't pack any, mate. I saved up like 130 packs.
Wow.
Didn't pack a single one, and it was my first year in about 3 years that I've not packed a team of the year.
I say, if you save up packs, because the problem is you say 150 packs, and I then go, okay, break it down, and then you see the breakdown, and actually I say that's not 150 packs, that's realistically maybe 50 packs, because the other 100 packs are probably packs that you don't really have much of a chance, if not a chance, to pack a team of the year. Whereas I say the packs to save up are like the 100k packs, the 50k packs, 45k packs.
Yeah, they're the only ones that I actually saved. Did any of you do the spreadsheet that was going around? I had 200,000 FIFA points worth of packs saved up.
Wow, no, I did see it though.
Didn't. I didn't use the spreadsheet, but I had like
something similar.
Pretty much the minimum packs I had, I'm pretty sure were like your rare electrums, prime, gold players, like a few mega packs, anything that basically either didn't have a guaranteed rating or basically had like maybe less than three or less rares. I was just like, I'm opening them up.
Yeah, sending it into player bits.
Those are the ones that are like, you got virtually no chance. So at least then I'm spending less time having to open up packs because I've got less packs, but the quality of those packs are like exceptional. And then it was just a case of doing those, then doing some Liga. I mainly did the Liga and the Premier League premium gold players packs, and then that's how I think that's how I got Donnarumma and Hakimi, was from those. And then the tradable Donnarumma was from my saved packs. But moving on to the next question. So we're going over to Discord right now. And we have got Venom asking, what would make FUT Champs perfect in your opinion? E.g. rewards, number of games, and how you qualify. Now, I would argue and say that FUT Champs this year was the perfect
Almost
FUT Champs before Team of the Season, but after they changed the qualifying format and the rewards. So when it was the 4 wins gives you the Team of the Week pack and you had to win 5 in 9, I didn't really like that structure. But once they changed it to win 4 and 10, and then you had to win 9 games instead of the 4 to get that, I found it more relaxing to play FUT Champs.
I'll let you go on this LCB before I weigh in.
Can I ask a controversial question?
Sure.
Should FUT Champs be relaxing?
No.
Yeah, that's my opinion on it as well. I get people saying, oh, I like the kind of the free wins and stuff like that. Obviously, if someone's going to quit on me on 0-0 or give me a free win, I'm very happy for the free win. And on a couple of times where a free win has saved me from bottling a rank, obviously I've been really grateful for it as well. But it's the most competitive game mode on the game, and it should be like that, I think. I think this year's format is kind of ruined that. I'd love last year's rewards and last year's format back. Maybe drop it down to 20 games. And don't let us qualify through this current system, do it back to points as such. But yeah, I liked the kind of actually having to sweat FUT Champs as such. I think it's one of the reasons that I was so into FIFA 21 in comparison to FIFA 22.
Oh, really?
Which is weird, I know, and it's controversial. But yeah, I just feel like FUT Champs is a little. I'm just not bothered with it this year. The only competitive side of FIFA that I've bothered with this year, apart from FUT Champs in the early game cycle, is Premier League. And once I got knocked out of Premier League, I haven't really bothered with FIFA.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm going to be controversial.
Okay, you carry on. Then I'll weigh in.
I don't think FIFA should be competitive, full stop. If it has to be competitive for those that want to be like pro players and stuff like that, then they can do a separate like mode for them that they can enter, so that people that want to be competitive can be competitive. But if you look at like majority of games, I'd say yes, there are competitive people. There are tryhards. There's always going to be tryhards, no matter what game you play. But at the end of the day, right, majority of the player base on any game are casuals. And at the end of the day, if you say FUT Champs is going to be the competitive only mode, then you have to create a means of making it locked off so that it is competitive only.
Well, I think there's a difference between being a casual. I think there's a fine line between being a casual and being competitive. Like I'm a casual. I'm not a pro player, but I like the competitive nature of gaming. That's why I play online games over story mode games, because I want to compete against someone else. Like Call of Duty, I don't sweat Call of Duty. Back in the day when, like prime lockdown, when I was sweating Warzone, you're being competitive. Do you know what I mean? No one was giving me a free win in Verdansk.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I think that FUT Champs, I love the competitive side of it, and it's what it should be about. Don't get me wrong, I'm the same as you. I love a free win, and also I don't want FUT Champs to be stressful for me. So I choose to get to a certain rank and then give away wins, because that's what I want to do. And that's me managing it the way I can, because of the way it's set out. But I think that to have just a mode for those competitive players, I think, what else are they going to do for the rest of the year if you have to set up competitions or tournaments or modes where they can only play each other? I think is a bit kind of singling them out a little bit.
For that level of competition, there is them modes. It's called the Premier League and FIFA Global Stage and stuff like that. I'm just talking about how FUT Champs is just it. Like last year, it was something that it was sweaty, but the gameplay was so much better last year that if someone was like this year, if someone was really sweating FUT Champs, they could keep the ball for 90 minutes if they really, really tried hard enough. They could keep the ball for 90 minutes, and you can't do anything to get the ball off them.
No, we have talked about that before, about the ability to be able to do that is flawed in the game.
So I saw someone flashing all over Twitter the other day for beating #Tom, and Tom brought up the stats or something like that, and it was like, yeah, you had 92% possession.
Yeah.
Beat me 1-0. Nice, mate.
That's it, innit? Because, yeah, if you manage to just get that early goal, then you can literally just sit on it. There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. But I think if you want to play competitive FIFA, then you play FUT Champs. But I think you can still enjoy Ultimate Team and play Ultimate Team and not even have to play FUT Champs. You can play your division rivals and get, because that's the thing. For those casual players, and if we are talking about really casual, then we're talking about someone like me. I get to play it maybe once, twice a week. Okay, so I've got a job, I have a family, all those other things. So if you only get to play at that time, you don't have the time to play 20 games of FUT Champs, the qualifying games, your 8 rivals wins, and also get your objective players done as well. It's just not possible. If you're a casual player, go on.
No, sorry, go on.
So if you're a casual player, really you've got to kind of either choose what you want to do at that time. So if you want to do FUT Champs, you can pretty much only do FUT Champs because that's 20 games. Or if there's that objective card that you want to do, you can do that and get maybe 4 of your 8 rival wins. This year, I've played more FUT Champs because of the format of it than I've ever played in any FIFA ever. I've only been playing Ultimate Team really properly since FIFA 17, but this is the first year I've played the most FUT Champs I've ever played. And that is by choice. That is not because I go in on a weekend and go, oh, do you know what, I fancy some competitive FIFA. It's because I've gone, oh, do you know what, there's nothing else that I really want to do in the game and I've got some time to play it. I'm going to play FUT Champs.
Yeah, but I completely get the other side of it as well. I get what you're saying, Mers, about how it shouldn't be stressful. And at the end of the day, there's something about, I know I was comparing it to Call of Duty, but there's something about FIFA that just gets people's blood boiling. And that's why you get people like the person who was DMing Brad earlier today or last night or whenever it was, and that's why you get people
today
like being racist like we've seen on Twitter, unfortunately, in the pro scene today, because there's something about this game that I don't know if it's something that comes from football as a sport that gets us really aggressive and really angry in comparison to other games. So yeah, to that side of things, FUT Champs shouldn't be like that, but
no,
at the same time, it shouldn't just be like golden goal.
I think with those people, like, they've got that in them, and this just brings it out. So I don't think the game suddenly makes anyone racist or the game suddenly makes anyone toxic, but they're already like that, and then it enhances it and it's multitude of things. It's gameplay, it's whatever. It's people that are behind the curve in terms of their ability to play it and things like that. You know, like I said, the reason that I probably get messages like that and things like that is because I don't have the time to play rivals. But if I play rivals, then I will, like most people this year, because it's easy, it would be an elite. But I'm not. I'm in Div 3. So I'm playing people that are in Div 3 who are in Div 3.
No,
whereas, you know, they're then thinking, they're probably thinking, oh, why aren't I playing someone with the same ability of me? And then like this guy today, and like I weren't trying to be a wind up or anything. I was literally stating the facts. When he started saying about, you know, oh, I got sulky when I went 2-1 down, and I said no, I was actually watching a YouTube video while I was playing you, so I weren't concentrating. That weren't me like saying, oh, you know, I'm so good I can watch YouTube videos while I play FIFA. That was me just being honest and saying, oh yeah, that only happened because I was actually watching a golf video on YouTube. When I then realised you'd gone 2-1 up and I weren't really paying attention, I sat back down and played the game, and that's why I beat you 6-4. Like, it's not.
You're a bigger man than me. I'd have said, oh, sorry. I'd say, sorry, mate. I thought I was playing squad battles.
But you know what I mean? It's not like that. And then like I say, then it brought out other things like, sort of calling me a name multiple times, talking about my personal name and where I'm from and my family and stuff. And I just think, hang on a minute now, like this is a bit different. Like we were having seemingly banter, or I wasn't even having banter. I was just explaining what happened, and then suddenly it's turned into him talking about my personal life, and I was like, nah, this isn't okay. Now you're just a
Cross the
weirdo
line.
in this community, along with all the other weirdos that are in this community.
And then just quick one from GH then. Thoughts on Silver Stars. Is it or has it been a pointless game mode, or do you see any point in it?
The problem with this question is the guy that's here usually is the best person to talk about this. I don't know about LCB, but I don't do Silver Stars. Did it at the first 2 weeks because you can get kind of a good player that's of higher stats than so we're talking about the Silver Stars, but really they're 85, 86 rated boosted cards essentially. But I did only do it in the first 2 weeks, and then I stopped.
I've got
And mostly that's because you get Silver Beasts, or everyone knows you get Silver Beasts now, where you've got to score with a Silver Team of the Week, and in that objective you get it for free. Whereas actually, if you buy a Silver Team of the Week at the start of the game, they're really expensive, and not a lot of people have coins. So yeah, Luke being the one to talk about this, did you do Silver Stars, or have you done Silver Stars? What have you thought of the FOMO?
Yeah, I've got a really weird obsession with them Silver Stars ones. I do every single one, and I can't explain to you why. I can't explain to you where it started. Last year, I did every single silver SBC objective, everything. I think where it started from, I can't remember what FIFA it was. Maybe it might have been like FIFA 19 during like the Carnival promo. There was like these Brazilian silver players, and they're absolutely insane.
Oh, the Samba Stars.
Yeah, Samba Stars, and there was a left mid,
Left back
called Dalbert, who was class. He was from Ligue
It was
1.
class.
And
Yeah.
then there was Wallace, centre mid for Serie A, and Wallace was actually in my Serie A squad as well. But this year, I would agree with the person who sent in the question. Thanks for the question. Is that it's got a bit pointless, and I genuinely think it's because of that Silver Star promo, which is contradictory to everything I said, because I said I love Silver Stars, so you'd think I'd love that promo. But now every single new silver objective that they've been bringing out isn't anywhere near to your 74 Royce or your 74 Pogba or your 74 KDB and Cyprian and Serki and Elanga and all of these unreal silver cards that did a job for a while. Won't do a job now because it's TOTS, of course. But I haven't been doing them in more recent weeks. But yeah, I do have a weird obsession with them. As I said, can't explain why.
Do you think a little bit though, in part of it, is because it's like a little bit like trading cards to some people? Like it's a
Collection.
rare card that you can't get any other way.
Yeah,
So it's just like a collectible.
Yeah, I think so. And I think a part of that was, I don't know if you remember, but when the Silver Stars promo came out, there was an SBC for a player pick, because obviously there's loads of objectives. They're like, all right, we'll do this SBC, and you get a player pick of ones that you can do. And like all people were doing it. I can remember someone in my chat saying, "Oh, have you done the player pick?" And I was like, "Nah, mate, don't need to. Already got all of them." And it was like the weirdest flex I've ever done in my life, and I felt so sick. Like, yeah, I've got all these 74 cards. Eee.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, no, it's probably that with the collectors thing. But I think FIFA should incorporate that as well. I'd love to go onto a little menu on your club. And have you ever played? It's on the iPhone. I can't remember what it's called, like Pacey Bits or something or Pacey Foot.
Oh yeah, no. So it's called Mad Foot.
Mad Foot, that's
Mad
it.
Foot. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've used to just sit there and just trying to fill in 100% of Aston Villa. And I can remember I was chasing a silver Conor Hourihane for forever just to get 100% Aston Villa. And I think if FIFA incorporated something like that, it'd be pretty cool.
That would be. I agree, actually.
Yeah, I think I've not really been a huge fan of Silver Stars. I get it. For some people, like maybe the really, really good players, like it offers a bit more of a fun element but for those that are more of an average skill, where let's face it, you kind of need to use the best of the best to try and be as competitive as possibly, or at least be able to have a better chance of winning games when playing. The Silver Stars don't really stack up. So, the current Silver Star player, so he plays in the J League. He is Brazilian, so it isn't too bad of a nation. However, it's like 80 pace, 85 dribbling, 90 shooting. Yeah, 90 shooting's fine. 70 passing and 86 physical for a striker. Let's face it, those stats do not stack up against other cards, even on the lower end of spectrum for Team of the Season, which means this basically is an unusual card. So it's like, what is the means
Where's your incentive?
to do it? Yes.
Yeah, and
what's the incentive?
I've just
it is easy to do.
I've just put his concept into my silver team, and he wouldn't even make my silver team's bench. So there is, even on that side of things, there's no incentive.
Yeah, so whilst we're not saying necessarily that Silver Stars is a bad promo, the way it's being managed is bad, isn't it? Because the Silver Stars now need to go with the curve of the game as well. So at this point, we should be getting a 74 rated silver card that's actually 90 rated in game.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
In order for it to, in order for them to be usable cards, like you say, it would be fun if you could now be playing with your main team and you've got what looks like a 74 rated special card at left wing who's actually a 91 rated beast.
Yeah, true. But what it could also do is... Sorry, go on.
I'm with you on the the collectibles side of things. Like at the end of the day, these are cards that you can collect. Yes, we put some into SBCs and things and that, but I think that like if they did some objective where you could, if you packed or collected a certain amount of cards of a thing and they gave you a pack for it at the end, it might be more of an incentive to make it that way.
Certainly, but that's why they make the requirements to do it very easy. 3 wins, score rate, 6 assists. Yeah. Because let's face it, it's not really. You can't even use it as well. You could use it as fodder, but it's a 74 rate card. It's not really going to help.
No.
With many SBCs.
They should just bring a game mode out for it, in my opinion.
Well, that's what they did during the Silver Stars, didn't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, like a weekly one where you use your silver team, almost like some of the tournaments that they used to do. If you just had
I used to love the tournaments.
Different daily tournaments where you win 3 games and you get a rare players pack, let's say. And each day there's a bronze tournament, a silver tournament, and a gold tournament. And then maybe just bronze and silver. You don't necessarily need the gold tournament. And each day, all right, jump on really quick, bang out 3 games, and do it like they've been doing, where it's like golden goal,
like the
maybe.
Serie A Cup type stuff. Yeah.
There's just so much.
That would have been the perfect time to have experimented with this type of cup thing that they've done.
Yeah.
Maybe it's during that Silver Stars promo.
100%. And I just think there's just so much that this game has to give that currently in EA's hands it's not given. And that's why I'm just excited to see who takes FIFA on after EA move on.
But that is it for the Q&A for this week, and that is it for this week's podcast. LCB, thank you for being on today's podcast, and as said earlier, all his links will be down in the description. I hope you've enjoyed yourself today.
No, thanks very much for inviting me on, lads. Yeah, genuinely really enjoyable chat to have. It's good to have a laugh and talk about the game that we all hate so much, love so much.
It is. It's good. It's good to hear other people's opinions and that as well, and good to have another voice.
Yes,
definitely.
Exactly. But he will also be featuring on our other, well, not both of our other series, but he will be featuring on our bonus draft builder, which we'll be recording very, very shortly. So make sure to check that out on our FSB YouTube channel. Brad, thank you for being on this week's podcast as well.
Always a pleasure.
And me and Brad definitely will see you next week when Luke returns. Bye-bye, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.